I can't take all of these Wonder Woman fan casts anymore, guys. It's too much. Love the enthusiasm. Please keep talking about Wonder Woman, but some of you need to be arrested for the unhinged fan casts I've had to see against my will. Ever since it was announced last year that a Wonder Woman movie was being fast-tracked by DC Studios, everyone has been wondering when this woman would make her first appearance in the universe. Not sorry about that, by the way. I have zero shame for my actions. As one of the most important superheroes of all time and a certified member of the comic book Mount Rushmore, it is incredibly important that they get this right. Wonder Woman has never had an adaptation that did her properly, so it's up to the DCU to change that, and it all starts with casting. If they manage to fumble live-action Wonder Woman again, I'm bringing back medieval torture methods to deal with everyone responsible. I'm so serious. All that is to say, Wonder Woman is going to make her way into the DCU sooner rather than later. It honestly feels like casting could drop at any moment, and considering the fact that the last time I talked about DCU Wonder Woman, the movie was announced 3 days later, so I fully expect her casting to be confirmed probably by the time you finish this video. But here's the thing. Wonder Woman is a very difficult character to cast. There are so many very specific things about her that makes it really hard to find the perfect candidate. So I figured I would make Gunn's job easier and break down what to look for in an actor that makes them the right choice to play Wonder Woman and talk about some fan casting along the way. As obvious as it may be, the most important thing is to find a talented actor. It shouldn't have to be said, but after last time, it clearly needs to be said. We need to avoid another gal situation at all costs, and I mean that in every feasible way. Above all else, there is no greater priority than finding someone who can do Diana justice. We need an actor with immense range who will be able to bring every complicated emotion, complex cadence, and the subtlety of her body language to life. Hot take, but I would say Diana is more multifaceted than pretty much anyone else at DC. There's a lot more to her than just one basic idea you can boil down, so it's really important for this actor to reflect that. Wonder Woman is a symbol of truth and a warrior who uses her words before her fists. She has such a specific personality that's yet to be done justice in live action or pretty much any medium that isn't the comics, so it is pivotal that they find an actor who can effortlessly pull it all off. We need to see a proper take on Wonder Woman, from her beautiful naivety as she enters a world unrecognizable from her own, to the firm confidence she exudes with every breath. There's a fine line between compassion and fierceness that's tricky to write and even harder to perform. This is a character who will always stand on business and fight for what's right. She's not a pushover and will push back when it comes to it. Most of all though, the actor needs to feel approachable. Someone who lights up a room anytime they enter it and touches the lives of everyone around her, including her villains. Wonder Woman needs to be empathetic and caring as she tries to guide everyone towards a brighter future of equality. Rehabilitation is the name of the game, not violence, and it never has been. If you think Wonder Woman is a bloodthirsty warrior, then you need to read more comics. I'm sorry, but you've been lied to. At her core, she is a genuine hero and diplomat who wants nothing more than for everyone to feel the same sense of love and community she had her entire life. If your actress can't radiate warmth or put a smile on my face every time I see her, then you've clearly done something wrong. So, we've narrowed the pool down and kicked out all the talentless bozos who should be flipping burgers. Now what? The second qualification is that they need to actually look like Wonder Woman. I know, real groundbreaking criteria here, but it's important to look the part. The reason I bring up something so obvious though, is that there's a lot of debate on what that actually means. What should Wonder Woman look like? For a character who predates pretty much everything interesting in the world besides sliced bread, she has had a lot of designs in all kinds of shapes and sizes over the years. I'm going to put a definitive end to all those different interpretations and say that Wonder Woman should be tall, muscular, and unapologetically feminine. The kind of woman you'd do a double take at if you saw her in real life. Wonder Woman should be the peak physical performance for a woman. Her big physicality should reflect her even bigger ambitions at the literal height of womanhood. She needs to be larger than life and really stand out on screen. Like a walking statue, chiseled to perfection and showing you the beauty of the female body. You know what, maybe I'm not the right person to be making this video. Listen, I know the height thing is controversial, but I think it's an intrinsic part of her character and an interesting subversion on the warrior trope. When you see this big, physically imposing warrior, you expect all of her interactions to start and end with the first punch, but in reality, she subverts those expectations. Wonder Woman prioritizes peace above all else and shows the world that no matter how strong you are, the most powerful tool at your disposal is compassion. The entire idea around her character is that she challenges social norms, and I think her appearance should reflect that as a tall, muscular woman who doesn't conform to any stereotypes. I understand finding a talented and tall actress who towers over David Corenswet at 6'4" is damn near impossible, so I'm willing to be realistic here. I think that at the absolute minimum, DCU Wonder Woman can be 5'9". That is half a foot over the average height in the United States and would make her stand out very well, but hopefully we can find someone who is even taller than that. It's go big or go home, guys. Thankfully, that's the hard part when it comes to her appearance, since the actor can bulk up after getting cast. Sure, it would be nice if we found an actress who was jacked from the start, but a Hollywood personal trainer will make it look like you ate yourself with ease and bulk anyone up. Just look at what they did for David. He was in great shape before, but they turned him into a walking fridge. Height is the important part. You can't change that unless you get $1,000 lengthening surgery, which makes you look like one of those Lego figures with long legs. So all we really need is a tall actor who has a willingness to bulk up to complete the look. Also, quick sidebar, but I know some people want Wonder Woman to be played by a Greek actress, which I think is fair, but here's my 2 cents as a white guy who barely knows what he's talking about. Would it be cool? Absolutely. Greek actors like, hold on.
Tonya Sotiropoulou
And
Milisanti Maheu
definitely look the part, but I don't think they have the right height for Diana, and I'm not a casting director, so I can only do so much with the materials I have at my disposal. All that being said, I don't think it's entirely necessary for Wonder Woman to be played by a Greek actress. Themyscira is so far removed from Greece that it's more so of an aesthetic than anything else at this point. Also, most importantly, she was made from clay, guys. There's no set nationality or ethnicity for that. It's magic minerals. Finally, to round out these 3 pillars of Wonder Woman casting is arguably the most important one. You need to find an actor who deeply cares about Wonder Woman as a character. I know I said talent was the priority, but I guess I lied. You can teach acting, but you can't teach passion. With a character so often mischaracterized as Wonder Woman, I want the person playing her to have a fundamental understanding of who Diana is, what she stands for, and how she would react in any given situation. Somebody who knows enough about Wonder Woman and is willing to make their voice be heard when it counts. I always come back to David Corenswet because he's a great example of what I hope to see for Wonder Woman. That isn't like him playing Wonder Woman, that would not work. Well, no, definitely not. Days before Superman was set to start filming, Gunn fully intended on the costume not having any trunks. It was only once David stuck up for them that it all finally clicked for Gunn. He was able to explain that the trunks being inherently silly are a good thing, as Superman wanted to be approachable and show that he doesn't take himself too seriously so that kids would not be scared of him. And it was that justification which broke down the barrier Gunn couldn't figure out himself. And thank God, because Superman looks so cursed without them. Look at this. Look at it! We dodged a massive bullet, and it was entirely because we had an actor who understands Superman. We desperately need someone who will stick up for Wonder Woman like that and tell a director or a writer when something doesn't add up. I'm not saying they need to be some expert on Wonder Woman history and have already read every single appearance before their audition. That is completely unrealistic to ask, and something even the most diehard Wonder Woman fans have not done. But there has to be a level of care that isn't just on the surface. Charlie Cox hadn't read a single comic book in general when he was cast as Daredevil, and he's one of the all-time great casting choices. That's because he is a talented actor who cares about his work and is willing to do the research to make sure he understands the character he's been tasked with bringing to life. Nowadays, he's read every single Daredevil comic and has become a walking encyclopedia on how to handle the man without fear, to the point where he's willing to tell Marvel when something isn't working. That is the kind of passion I want to see with our Wonder Woman actress. There's nothing wrong with an actor who shows up, reads the lines, gives a great performance, and calls it a day. But there's something special about an actor who embodies a character. Somebody who lives the material and is willing to speak up about something if they think it's out of character. When you have a superhero as misunderstood as Wonder Woman, it's important to have someone in the room that understands her. Obviously, the director and especially the writer should know their stuff too. We have seen what happens in the past when that isn't the case, but an actor has a whole different perspective as somebody who emotionally embodies the character. They're able to speak on the character independent on what's on the page to make sure that she still feels like Wonder Woman at the end of the day. That is how you get a character who stands the test of time. Now that I've laid out all the criteria, we gotta talk about fan casting. There's only like, what, 3 rules? I mean, surely it can't be that hard, right? Right? I have put together a list of the most popular Wonder Woman fancasts, and I want to dissect them to determine who should play her in the DCU. We're looking for someone who's talented, tall, jacked, and hopefully passionate. Oh, also, I think that the ideal age range for the actress should be in their 20s. Wonder Woman is an immortal demigod who doesn't really age, so it's kind of hard to narrow that down because, believe it or not, that doesn't exist in real life, but she's typically in her early 20s when she leaves Themyscira for the first time, so let's base it off that. I'm not going to strictly hold myself to that rule, especially because the DCU is already a few years in and I have no clue what kind of story they're going to be telling with Wonder Woman in that movie, but it's a good baseline to revolve the casting around. That should cover everything, right? Hey, no matter how this goes, at least I can take comfort in the fact that it'll be an improvement by default. We can only go up from here. Let's start with my own personal fan cast. I've spent the last few years pushing my Calamawy agenda as Wonder Woman. I adored her as the Scarlet Scarab in Moon Knight and saw only bright things in her future. She is an immensely talented actress who absolutely has the range to pull off a character as nuanced as Diana. Moon Knight gave us a great taste of what she's capable of in the superhero genre, as she played a character who was literally empowered by the gods to protect women and families. If you didn't have any context, you'd already think I'd be talking about Wonder Woman, wouldn't you? And my god, does she look the part. That big, beautiful, curly hair is exactly the kind of style I want to see for DCU Wonder Woman. Plus, an Egyptian-Palestinian actress who isn't afraid to make her voice be heard and is confidently on the right side of history just feels right for Wonder Woman. If you want to take things a step further, we even have this shot of her doing the iconic Wonder Woman pose. You can't look at that and tell me she wouldn't be perfect in the role. That was what really sold me on her casting at first, but unfortunately, I don't think May is our best fit for the future of the DCU. God, this feels like I have to take Old Yeller out back. I'm not happy about it. For as much as I love May for her entire body of work and admire her for being so outspoken, the stars just haven't aligned here. For starters, she's 39 years old, and there's nothing wrong with that, but for the DCU just starting out, I think we need to find an actor who can play this character for 20 more years. So sadly enough for her, the glove just does not fit. So I guess we must acquit? Is that how that works? No, that doesn't make any sense. How could anybody fall for that? Secondly, May is 5'7", so even if Gunn decided to go with her, she doesn't exactly meet the height requirement. The same goes for actors like Katie O'Brien, Adria Arona, and Odessa Azion. They are undeniably talented and would each bring something special to the role, but they are even shorter, so I can't include them in the conversation for Wonder Woman. I know Adria especially is a massive fan cast online, so don't rip me apart for saying this, but the more research I've done, the further she's fallen down my rankings. It is undeniable that she is an immensely talented actress. Her chilling performance in Andor still doesn't get enough credit to this day, and I'm sure that she'd make for a really fun Wonder Woman. It's just a matter of finding new actors who I think fit the role better. It's the same reason as to why May is no longer my top choice, which hurts like hell because of how heavily I've been pushing for this, even going as far as to mention it in previous videos. But I think that Calamawy is the perfect person to don the tiara. Really butchered her name there, dumbass. But as sad as it may be, I must put my bias aside and let go of her playing DCU Wonder Woman. She's proven she has what it takes as an actor and is definitely jacked, but I fear it wasn't meant to be. Hopefully they let her voice Wonder Woman in something one day though, because I'm still dying for her to get that opportunity. You know what, then again, she would make for a great Queen Hippolyta. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's go with that. I still need her involved with Wonder Woman somehow. Calamawy for Queen Hippolyta is my new agenda. Please do your best to spread it forth on my behalf. I do want to single out Melissa Barrera for a second though, because there has been a lot of movement online for her to play Wonder Woman. This fancast has even made its way to her multiple times, so this is clearly something the people want to see. But for as talented as an actress as she is, she sadly doesn't fit the height qualifications at 5'7". Who knows, maybe movie magic could make it work. Also, I found out doing research for this video that she's 35 years old, which genuinely shocked me because she looks 25 on a bad day. All that being said, I think Melissa is a really interesting case because of who she is as a person. Out of everybody on this list, there is nobody who matches Diana's personality quite like Melissa. This is someone who doesn't turn a blind eye to injustice in the world and uses her platform for good. She was willing to lose her job to speak up on an ongoing genocide, which is incredibly brave and noble of her. That is the kind of person I want to see play Wonder Woman. When she was asked about playing the character, she even gave an incredibly thoughtful statement about the importance of Wonder Woman and what she represents, along with the responsibility to be a positive influence. I'm willing to look past a lot of other things when someone has this much of an understanding about the character, because you cannot deny that she knows what she's talking about. Melissa is somebody who clearly has a deep understanding of the fundamental role Wonder Woman has played in feminism, and because of that, it just makes her a really good candidate to play the character. On top of all that, with Wonder Woman being an immigrant, it would be nice to see someone with that shared experience play Diana. I don't know how likely it is to happen, but DC would be honored to have someone this passionate and outspoken take up the mantle of Wonder Woman. And we haven't even touched on the fact that her body of work as an actor is incredible. She made a name for herself in the States starring in horror movies like Scream and Abigail, but had an entire career in Mexico before that. It is incredibly impressive to me how much she's been able to achieve in such a little time, and I feel like her future would only be brighter as Wonder Woman. Charlee Fraser is another name I've seen thrown around a lot online, and she certainly looks the part. The wavy hair just screams Wonder Woman to me, and it's especially in pictures like this where she has the Wonder Woman look on lock. What makes her really stand out though is the fact that she's 5'10", or maybe 5'10.5" according to some sites. I don't know, man, the internet is impossible to understand nowadays. What matters is that she clears the height requirements and would give us the tall Wonder Woman we so desperately need. So she's got the look down, but what about her acting? As a relatively unknown and up-and-coming actress, it's hard to say for sure, but I do think she has what it takes. What's so interesting about Charlee is that as of right now, she has only starred in 2 movies her entire life. She played Glenn Powell's ex-girlfriend in Anyone But You, and Furiosa's mother in the creatively titled Furiosa: A Mad Max Saga. So despite her inexperience, these 2 movies are kind of the perfect blueprint for a character like Wonder Woman. She's a bubbly ray of sunshine in Anyone But You, and a fierce warrior in Mad Max. Mash those 2 together, and bam, you basically have a prototype for Wonder Woman. Charlee is currently in this weird limbo space between unknown and breaking out, so it might be smart to strike when the iron is hot and lock her down for the future. I can't say I'm fully sold on her because of how little we've seen, but I'd absolutely be happy to give her a chance considering how much of an impact she's already made with such little screen time. Seriously, she's in Mad Max for maybe like 15 minutes, but has such a standout performance that you can tell there's a star waiting to be made. Another Australian actress who also starred in a Mad Max movie that would make a great Wonder Woman is Courtney Eaton. Immediately, it is very easy to see why she's such a popular fan cast for Diana. You take one look at her and see a striking resemblance to Wonder Woman, especially in the eyes. I don't know what it is about them, but I see Wonder Woman in her. It helps that she's also 5'10", so she clears that height requirement as well. While I'm not as familiar with her work, what I've briefly seen in Yellow Jackets has definitely shown that she has what it takes. I know that is a very different performance than what you'd expect for someone like Wonder Woman, but the role of Lottie shows her range and exactly what she's capable of as an actor. There's this sense of comfort in the way she speaks. Regardless of the character's intentions, it's really nice to know that she'd be able to deliver on that kind of reassuring tone. It is an incredibly important trait for Wonder Woman to have, and she has that down. The spirituality surrounding that character too is enough proof to me that she can be a believable believer of the gods in the DCU. I know actors are more than just one character and I don't want to typecast, but this is her big breakout role and it covers a lot of the same emotions I'd want to see Wonder Woman touch on. At 30 years old, she's even the same age that David was when he was cast as Superman, so everything lines up for the universe. It even helps that she's expressed interest in playing Wonder Woman in the past too. It may have only been an Instagram story, but that's more enthusiasm than others have shown. I hope she at least gets an audition because the potential is clearly there, just waiting to be tapped into. Then there's someone like Sarah Pidgeon, an actress who's no stranger to the DC universe. What's that? You don't remember who she played? How could you forget the one time she played a villain of the week in Gotham? Yeah, she was Jane Doe, who in this version was a shapeshifter. What a weird show. I love it. So to address the elephant in the room, Sarah is literally Wonder Woman, right? Like genuinely, just look at her. Look at this look specifically and tell me that isn't Wonder Woman brought to life. If we were casting based on looks alone, she is the clear winner to me. I'm sorry to obsess over this, but I genuinely can't get over how much she looks like Diana. It's as if you shook a Wonder Woman comic and she fell straight out of it. Sarah is 5'10" as well, so she's already taller than my arbitrary minimum height, which goes a long way on screen. She's even 29 years old, so the faster you cast her, the better. She is in such a prime position to take on this monumental role and carry the torch for decades to come. But if you want to go even further, she played a character named Diana in the play Stereophonic, a role that earned her a Tony nomination. That's a big deal, guys. If that isn't a sign from the universe that this was meant to be, I don't know what is. When it comes to fan casting, Sarah is the golden goose, as an actor who looks identical to their comic counterpart with a strong theater background and charisma to match. While she doesn't have the most well-known or deepest filmography to pull from, everything I've checked out has been very good. Her role in Tiny Beautiful Things is a big standout to me, where she plays a grief-stricken daughter trying to navigate this new life. I know it's nothing that outwardly screams Wonder Woman, but it shows her range as an actress, which is the most important part. This year, she has a leading role in Ryan Murphy's Love Story, so I only expect to see her break out more and more as people discover just how talented she really is. If you can't tell already, I definitely see the vision here and would love to see her put on the tiara. Seriously, just look at how perfect that is. Okay, I'll shut up and move on to the last candidate, but please just look at how perfect this casting is. Elizabeth Debicki might be the most obvious Wonder Woman casting choice of all time, especially for the DCU. She starred in 2 previous James Gunn movies, Guardians of the Galaxy Volumes 2 and 3, where she played Aisha, the High Priestess of the Sovereign. Yeah, I always forget that was her. She was genuinely unrecognizable in the role as she walked around like a living Academy Award, but right off the bat, being an associate of James Gunn already makes her more likely than everybody else, and in this case, that's a great thing. Elizabeth feels like she was made in a lab to play Wonder Woman, and it is a damn shame it's taken this long to get some momentum behind her for it. I need you to listen carefully when I say this next part, okay? Elizabeth Debicki is 6'2". I'm gonna say that again for emphasis. She's 6'2". By far the tallest choice we have for Wonder Woman, and would have her almost head to head with Superman. We could end the conversation right there and you would already see the vision, but thankfully there is so much more backing her. Elizabeth is a great actress with a ton of range. I really feel like she doesn't get enough credit for how naturally she takes to every role she plays, whether it be as a socialite in The Great Gatsby, a golden alien goddess in Guardians of the Galaxy, a rabbit in this animated movie, or whatever the hell was happening in Tenet. She always turns in a good performance. What makes her stand out for Wonder Woman though was her performance as Princess Diana. Come on man, do I have to really say more? Oh, I do? Right, okay, so Diana, Princess of Wales, is basically the closest any human being has ever come to being Wonder Woman in real life. She was the people's princess and a beacon of positivity around the world, and Elizabeth played her to perfection on the crown. She was able to capture all of the elegance and compassion that came with the role, and it basically acted as an audition for Wonder Woman in my eyes. Just get her in a black wig or give her some hair dye and we have Wonder Woman on our hands. I can't overstate enough how Elizabeth is basically just Wonder Woman in real life. I don't care if she's 35 years old. If I'm James Gunn, I'm moving mountains to make this happen. So, with all of that being said, I think DCU Wonder Woman should be played by... Can we get like a drum roll or something? This is really awkward without it. Thank you, that is so much better. The perfect person to play Wonder Woman is... an unknown actress. Oh, what? That's underwhelming. Listen, I apologize for the fake out and promise I will make a decision, but I do think it's important to address the benefits of an unknown actor. While some of the actors we've talked about today are relatively unknown, there's something special about casting a truly unknown actress. There could be a 6'5" jacked goddess out there with all the talent in the world who is identical to Wonder Woman, and we just don't know it yet. When you're casting a character who is as well known as Wonder Woman, this is going to define that actor's career for the rest of their life. And in cases like this, it might benefit to have an unknown actor who doesn't have any previous history tied to them. It'll be a lot easier to see someone as Wonder Woman if you only have ever seen them as Wonder Woman before. Plus, the best casting decisions are always the ones you least expect. It's only once you actually screen test an actor that you're able to see how they do in the role. Plus, I also trust casting decisions involving unknown actors more because I know it was their talent, not their star power, that got them that role. Hundreds, maybe thousands of different actors are screened, and this one person managed to stand out. That is a testament to their abilities and a promise to the audience that this person deserved the role more than some of the biggest names in Hollywood. I hope that we're lucky enough to find that one person for Wonder Woman who is currently out there waiting for their big break. But that's a very unsatisfying answer for a YouTube video, so let me make my real decision. I'm really sorry if I left out your ideal Wonder Woman casting choice. I can only talk about so many in the video, but I want you to know that I did that to personally spite you. In my humble opinion, I think that Wonder Woman... Come on, man! What could it possibly be now? Wait, what? They just cast Wonder Woman? Right now. As I'm okay. Chris Pratt is playing Wonder Woman. You gotta be Okay, that's enough stalling. I promise I'm done with bits now. Hurt my throat screaming that loud. My choice to play Wonder Woman for the DCU is Sarah Pidgeon. I glazed her enough, I'm sure you all saw this one coming, but I can't get over how perfect her casting would be. She's a relatively unknown actress and a rising star who looks the part more than anyone I've ever seen, and absolutely has what it takes to do Diana justice. Honorable mentions to Elizabeth Debicki, who I think would be an incredible choice, especially if you already want a big name, and Melissa, who does everything in her power to embody Wonder Woman every single day. Wonder Woman is an extremely difficult character to cast, so it says a lot that these 5 actors have what it takes to even be considered. They have the talent it takes to bring a nuanced hero like Wonder Woman to life, the unreal looks of a chiseled goddess that would make her stand out on screen, and a genuine care for the character that transcends the screen into the real world. I've grown to love Wonder Woman a lot over the last year and want to see her done right now more than ever. The DCU has the perfect opportunity to finally give us our first good Wonder Woman adaptation, so they better not blow it. Because if they do, I'm gonna get violent. Sorry, but Diana is better than me. I am not Wonder Woman. I'm making sure everyone responsible gets referred to in the past tense. But why don't you just let me know down below who you think should play Wonder Woman in the DCU? I would genuinely love to hear what everyone has to say and continue the conversation down below. And while you're at it, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. If you don't do it, I'm gonna make sure Chris Pratt actually does get cast as Wonder Woman, and it'll be all your fault. You will be public enemy #1, so just subscribe instead to save yourself from that hell.